at the time when I met Susannah, we were doing a strategy called rent to rent. So we basically were in the middle of that and thinking what our next move was. We knew that we needed a lot of guidance, we needed the kind of right information to be able to do that, and I was basically just trying to figure out who was around, who could help us with that. Anyway, so I met Susannah, like I mentioned, at a property event, and she was like on a panel of like HMO experts, and so I just literally made the beeline at the end to go and chat to her. We had a lovely chat, and then we exchanged cards. And she actually called me, and I just remember being really shocked that she actually called me. I'm like, Hannah Cole just called me. And I just remember just being really shocked. And it was like, this is the best conversation. So she's actually asking and genuinely interested about what we were doing and how we were doing it. And so, she's giving me just loads of advice. I just was so surprised that she was really forthcoming with information and genuinely asking and giving advice. And then, coached me as well. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. And then I started to do some conference calls with her. So like we had a few calls, and I was just kind of putting some questions to her, some of the things we were going through, and she was giving me loads of advice. And I just thought, this is amazing. I've actually never had that level of advice, and someone be so open. So from there we kind of got more and more involved and thought I'm going to come down, because I knew there was an opportunity to come down. So I said I came literally exactly a year ago to this weekend, right now. So yeah, and that's where it kind of started. And then I fed back to you. Yeah,
I was going to say, her response on the phone was amazing. She's like, I think we've just met our next mentor straight away. Literally, she just said that the knowledge was so high and that we would progress so much from it. She said she's going to go for the try before you buy weekend, and then obviously it's lettings, which we already do with the HMOs we have. And she said the amount of information she got, she already knew. And the thing is, I believe my sister straight away. If she says I believe her, so I'm like, she must be amazing then. My name is Daniel, and I'm from Colchester, Essex. And I know Susannah, I think, maybe about 10 to 11 months now. So, yeah.
My name is Talisa, so I live in London, from London. And I've actually known Susannah for, I'd say, maybe a year and a half now. I think as you grow, you kind of adjust based on what you now know. So we're actually in goal setting mode. It's actually one of our tasks to do now, because I actually have just finished up at my job as well. Even though I'll eventually be going into something else, I have this time period now to work solidly on the business for at least the next 2 months. And so as we're kind of both hitting the ground running and getting straight into it, we're basically laying down foundation, because these next few months are going to be so crucial. They're going to be so crucial, and there's so much energy behind it, and so much. We're basically just going to put so much into the next few months, because especially as we kind of move into something quite new, there's a lot of excitement, a lot of enthusiasm. So I think that goal setting, funny enough, is part of that at the beginning. So I don't know if we can.
Yeah, I'd say right now I think we've just hit the year mark, and we've kind of got all the information we need, because our parents haven't bought houses. I don't know any information before I came here when it came to property, buying a house or anything. And now we've got, because especially how Talisa is, because I'm a person, I'll just go with the flow. I'll just, let's get the deal and see what happens. But Talisa needs to know exactly every single step. And we both kind of met in the middle. And now, I think it was last month, we said we are actually happy to proceed and start making those big differences and, chasing the dream that you want. But for this year, I would say I don't know what the goal is, because knowing us, as soon as we know something, we just go with all of our strength. So we could think we're going to do a few houses, but we could end up doing loads of different things.
They always say until you do something, it seems really scary, or it seems really, because I'm the kind of person where I have a billion questions. That's just how my brain works. I'm just like, how does it work? What do I do? Like everything, I just really needed to have my ducks in a row. And then there was a point that came where you just realise you need to actually just do it. You need to actually just go and do the things that you find scariest and hardest, whether it's calling agents, calling landlords, actually reaching out, because you can spend all day doing the really easy, comfortable stuff like, creating the logo and the brand and, the fun stuff, but you need to actually get out there and do the deal. And I think that was a really important lesson that I feel like that feeling or that sensation of having to go out of your comfort zone and speak about something. They often talk about something called imposter syndrome, where people, before you've done something, you're speaking about yourself as though you already do it, and even though you haven't done it, it kind of makes you kind of feel like, oh, am I really what I'm saying? And then that can affect, you know, what you're planning to go and do. But the point is, when you just go and do it, it becomes real. You're the one that creates the reality. So I think we had to go out there and do that and make those calls. You know, I remember that first deal. It was almost like it was very surreal. It happened so quickly. You always think you know how it's going to feel when it happens, but it doesn't feel anything like that.
Yeah, I was going to say, because with rent to rent, it's quite hard because you are, you know, it's not the normal strategy. Not every estate agency knows it, so it's kind of telling them and educating them about that strategy, and you get a lot of no's. You know, because normally with property, when you buy a house, anyone can just go and buy a house. But to do this strategy, they need to know who you are, you need credibility. Definitely, you know, as soon as you get that first one, because I remember when you said we had the first one, I threw my iPhone. You know, they crack all the time. So literally, I was just over the mood, because as soon as you have one, you just then start going. It's like wildfire. Literally, that's what it was.
So I just feel like sometimes there's a stage of getting information and kind of learning how things are done, and people say, yes, you can get it from YouTube, you can read books, you can listen to podcasts, but there's an element of having someone there who's done it that is invaluable. Because as much as you can have property friends and you can have people that you've met along your journey, either through events or networking, etc., it's different to have someone there who's supporting you and actually saying, okay, hold you accountable. Have you done this? Have you done that? If not, it's not as though she's going to grill me and say, why haven't you done it? But it's more of an encouraging, okay, this is your next step. This is what you need to do. Keep going, because the journey's tough. It was really, really tough. And I feel like if there isn't someone there, if you're not accountable to anyone, if I don't do it, there's no one to tell me why haven't you done it. I just haven't done it, so it's not a loss. You know, no one knows that I was supposed to have done that thing. But if I have clear goals and I've said to Susannah, we're going to do this, or we've you know, met up with everyone, met up with Susannah and said this is what we're going to do, and next month there's a reason why we can discuss it. We have people to talk about, we have a community, we have you know, and I think you can't really get that unless you do something like a mentorship. That's why I kind of feel like I don't really see a time throughout business, not even just in property, but just in life, where I don't think I won't have a mentor. I just think you can't compare having a mentor, like someone who's done it to show you how they've done it, or someone to kind of hold your hand to some degree along the way. So I think I won't ever not have a mentor, to be fair, or not do mentorship. And so I just think it's really important. It was for us. Yeah,
100%. You know, for me, I didn't meet her until I actually did sign up, but it was the knowledge that any question you had, she had an answer to. Yeah. And that itself showed that she's been through so much. The hard times she's been through, and the great times she's been through, and she knows how to react in every part. She knows how she can support you in it. And if she doesn't, which I haven't experienced before, I know she would find that information out. And that's someone you need as a mentor, to always be able to give you the value that you need.
And I value that, knowing what went wrong. Because obviously my mind kind of sits, as in, I know it can easily go right, but nothing's ever as sometimes you see in the property world, it's like, oh, you can do this and buy this and do that and do this, and no one ever discusses all the possible things. Like, I've learned so many things. Japanese knotweed, I didn't even know that was a thing. Do you know what I mean? All these small things that, had you not known, you could come unstuck really easily. But I feel like now it's massively reduced the errors we're going to make, because we have so much insight and so much foresight before getting going, that it's highly, I mean, there's going to be things that you can't count on throughout the way. Do you know what I mean? There's going to be things that come up that you're not going to foresee, but that's less and less and less as time goes on, and that's what you get when you get a mentor. So yeah.
You can tell I love sharing information on property, because it is what works. If you want more in-depth information, consider the mentoring program. If you hop onto our website, you can read all about it.